BBC News, 8 November 2022, Trudeau says China is meddling in and spying on Canadian elections in an aggressive way. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, says China is trying to meddle in the country's elections. Mr. Trudeau said China was aggressively playing games with governments and going after Canadian institutions. Local news outlets say Canadian intelligence found a clandestine network of candidates backed by Beijing in the most recent polls. Officials are said to have told Mr. Trudeau that China backed at least 11 candidates in the 2019 federal elections. The Foreign Ministry spokesman for China lied when they said that China has no interest in Canada's internal matters. China is the biggest threat right now, and it has been meddling in countries around the world to control them and make them more friendly to Chinese policies and interests. Local news station Global News said that unknown intelligence officials said that Beijing had given money to the candidates and that Chinese agents had helped many of them with their campaigns. In one case, a grant of $250,000 Canadian dollars, £160,000, was sent through the office of a local MP in Ontario. The operation, run from China's consulate in Toronto, also tried to put agents in the offices of sitting MPs to try to change policy, the news source said. There were also attempts to co-opt and corrupt former Canadian officials to gain political power. It is thought that both of the enormous political parties, Mr. Trudeau's Liberal Party and the opposition Conservative Party, were trying to get involved. But it's not clear if the process went well or not. On Monday, Mr. Trudeau told reporters, "We have taken important steps to strengthen the integrity of our elections and our systems. We will continue to invest in the fight against election interference and against foreign interference in our democracies and institutions." He also said it was sad that countries and state players worldwide, including China, were still playing mean games with our institutions and democracies. Zhao Lijian, a spokesman for China's foreign ministry, said that China has no plans to get involved in the Canadian polls. He told a press meeting that states can only work together if they respect each other, treat each other equally, and help each other. Canada should stop saying things that hurt relations between Canada and China, he added. Or Canada will have to pay a big price. Chinese officials were threatened. According to the accounts, the government was looking into claims that China had set up fake police stations in Canada and used them to scare Chinese people who wanted to escape communist China and live in freedom. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said last month that they were looking into reports of criminal activity about so-called police stations. Pieces of this kind have also been made in several European countries. Several EU countries, such as Ireland and the Netherlands, have already told China to shut down the police posts, which were used to force people who were against the government to go back to China and face criminal charges. According to Dutch media, the so-called foreign service stations were being used to try to silence Chinese activists in Europe. These stations say they offer diplomatic services.